Again, I invite you to find a sacred space and be aware of your breathing. And take in a deep breath. And then exhaling and relaxing deeply. Continue breathing at your own pace. And I'd like for you in this moment to imagine that you are near a stream of water. Listen to the water as it moves through the stream, over and around any rocks. And know that we are like that. Our consciousness is like the flow of water. Breathe in deeply and know that this divine flow of every breath cleanses, restores, renews, flows around any obstacles, and releases. Continue breathing. Continue breathing in the fresh air and the fragrance of a beautiful spring summer day. Allow your imagination to take you to a special place. A place that you feel at home and comfortable. And continue listening to the water. There might even be a waterfall. Flow with the water. Set your intention. Set your intention to know that you are love and light, and that life flows with ease, that you are able to glide around and through the journey of life. And look around and see the beauty of nature, the flowers, the birds, the trees. See one tree in particular that calls your attention. Know that this tree is firmly rooted in the ground. Know that we are firmly rooted in our roots. And know that the tree has branches and leaves. And that is our consciousness branching out. We expand with every thought of love and kindness. This tree again flows beautifully with the breeze. And there might even be some birds chirping away on the limbs of the tree. Listen. Be still and listen. Listen to the song of life, the beauty, the joy, the peace that is everywhere present, that is alive and well in your imagination and within your thoughts. And there might be one bird that you are called to watch as it cares for its loved ones. You care for your loved ones. Now watch this bird fly away and know that you too have the ability to fly even higher in consciousness and soar through the skies, the beautiful blue skies. Now see this bird standing on one of the rocks in the creek. Knowing that you are able to stand on this solid rock, you are able to fly high, you are able to absorb the beauty of nature, you are able to be renewed in spirit and to share your love with all. Continue listening to the water and the sounds. Allow your vibration to be in tune with nature. Now see the bird fly again and go back to the tree, and the sun glistens beautifully. And know the sun is shining upon you this day, every day. And let us give thanks for our experience and give thanks for the opportunity to create in our imagination a beautiful world that is renewing and that restores us. Feel the gentleness all around you, and when you're ready, return to the room feeling refreshed. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Thanks, Reverend Mary Ann. Beautiful. Beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your life and out of your day to spend it with us this morning. Your being here adds a lot to our Sunday celebration. It's really nice to see the warm weather starting to emerge, the changing of the seasons, the birds, as Reverend Mary Ann said, the flying away, the robin that's already come here to let us know spring is here. And we're getting ready for summer, along with the rotation of our planet around the sun. That gives us a clear confirmation that there is a divine designer that is present at all times, in all situations. As we witness this subtle change of winter turning into spring, and we're now on our way to the beginning of summer on June 21st. There's a design that no man, no human being, past or present, that can change that. There are so many changes that are automatically taking place that we don't always notice them because we take it for granted. The beautiful flowers that are blooming, the leaves that are budding on trees that were bare just a few weeks ago, and so many more things that are taking place that we take for granted. But it always confirms, without a doubt, there is a God, there is a divine presence. So if you ever speak to someone who doesn't believe in God, just tell them to pay attention to nature. It's very evident. Very evident. There's a divine designer there. Another thing that as we humans take for granted are the simple things, such as our thoughts. It's been my understanding that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. Now, I don't know how the scientists came up with that number, or if it's even true. But we definitely have a constant flow of thoughts flowing through our minds on a regular basis. Each one of us knows that and can confirm that. Thoughts we like, thoughts we don't like, thoughts of things we think we should do, thoughts of things we can't do, on and on and on. Maybe I should eat this, maybe I should do that. You're all aware of the many, many thoughts and how they flow through your mind. Most people consider thoughts as ideas or notions that reside in their heads for their own private use. Thoughts help you figure things out, evaluate situations, make decisions, generate feelings, and sometimes they seem to drive you crazy, especially if you're upset about something, or should I do this, or you're upset about something or someone. These things keep on churning in your mind. Thoughts or ideas may seem to reside in your head, but in reality, each thought exists as a small wave of energy called a thought form. A thought form is real, it exists. It happens to not be noticed by you because its energy frequency is outside the human senses. Thoughts operate faster than the speed of light. So therefore, they're not visible to you. They operate on a frequency, like, for example, the invisible frequencies of a radio station. Now, if you have a favorite radio station that you listen to, the energy of that station is continuously vibrating in the space around you, even right now. But unless you turn your radio to that station, you're not even aware of it, but it's there. It's definitely there. The point that I'm making is that there's a lot of information vibrating us in the space around us that we're not always aware of because our senses aren't in tune with them. A lot of times when we think about each one of us who's drawn here this morning and who's drawn to this teaching, how many people on this planet don't have a clue that this teaching even exists? So they're not in tune with it. It's not their time. It may never be their time to get in tune with it. But for whatever reason, you have been drawn to it. And it was always there, always. Even before you, I, or anyone else became aware of it. It was always sitting out there. Now, if you were like me, when I first heard about Ernest Holmes and all these ideas, it was like, man, then I look about when he wrote the first book, it was like, wow, I wasn't on Earth, but still, it was still around way before I got here. And a lot of this information is still continuing on with new people picking up the banner and keeping them going. And the world we live in this today shows us all the many thoughts that are flowing through the millions of human beings that we share this planet with. Some of the things we see are negative. Some of the things we see are positive. Some things we see as caring. But these all, each planet, each human being has this gift of thoughts. Some act on the negative thoughts, some don't. Some act on the positive thoughts, some don't. But we all have it. Like we all have a heart. We all have a brain. We all have ears. We all have limbs, legs, things. Now, some people don't have full capability of doing anything. You know, some people have disabilities and that type of thing, but you yourself was born and blessed to have a healthy body, to have a healthy mind, to have ears that can hear, eyes that can see, a mouth that can talk, a voice that you can sing and speak, a tongue you can taste food with, a nose that you can smell whether you're in danger or not, or the good aroma of a good piece of pie or something. You have all these senses and they're there. And you don't take it, you know, a lot of us take it for granted. We don't even pay attention to it, but they're there. And even though when I thought about Putin, whether or not we like Putin, for me, he was a prime example of an individual who had really negative thoughts. Now, he could have kept them to himself, He could have hated the Ukrainians. He could have hated whatever. But he acted upon those thoughts. No one shut him down. No one stopped him. No one imprisoned him. No one put him in a straitjacket, which I probably would have. But you know what I mean? No one stopped him. And for whatever reason, he thought his thoughts were valid. He thought his thoughts was righteous, that he had the right to cause harm on a nation of people, to kill babies, grandparents, newborns, all of it. He thought he had the right. And it was really sad when you hear the stories of the people. They hadn't done anything to them. And imagine us here in the United States, all the things we take for granted. And to even think that a Putin would even begin to take away your ability to sit here this morning, to listen to your religious choice, to decide later on the day that you're going to go maybe on a walk or go in that park like Linda did this morning. Just think that if there's one individual somewhere that decided, no, I don't think Linda should go on that walk. I don't think they should have a church setting at CSL on Zoom. I don't think. And then they get a chance to act out on it. It's hard to imagine because we're in America, we get kind of spoiled again. But there are people on this planet right now where their world has been upside down. And the thoughts that we accept as true become our beliefs. I know I always do this here, so bear with me. I always go off, but I'm coming back into what I have here on paper. The thoughts we accept as true become our beliefs, which makes up our belief system. And our beliefs are our specialized thought forms that become a part of our individual belief systems. They exist as waves of energy that you radiate out into the universe. They accumulate similar thought forms in order to create events, circumstances, and relationships that support your beliefs. It's just like here at CSL Greater Pittsburgh, we have drawn here to ourselves other like-minded people. And have you ever been thinking about something and later on you see an article, you hear something on television that's about the very object you were thinking about? That happens to me a lot. And that's how the universe works. And that gives you an idea that your thoughts are real. That's when you begin to see it. I know I used to listen to Joel Osteen. I got used to doing it before when Nancy and Dave was here. And I just happened to be flipping, because church started at 10:30. I think it was like 9 or whatever it was. I'm flipping through the channel, never heard of Joel Osteen. And he got to talking about how thoughts create the world. Wait. And I had been thinking about something like that earlier that week, right? I'm going to go to a church who teaches this. Now, this guy here, he's not a religious scientist. But in some kind of way, what it did for me, it's confirmed like my thoughts are real. Joel Osteen doesn't know Catholic students, never want to meet Catholic students. But what he had to say, the universe confirmed that my thoughts are real. There's energy behind them. Whether he's in Texas or I'm in Pittsburgh, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. So what we put our attention on strengthens or expands in our lives. Our attention backed by the intent of our beliefs create what we experience. As our lives scientifically, one might say that focusing your attention on something specific in the energy field of all possibilities creates the events and materializations that we experience as our reality. This is very important. What you put your attention on strengthens or expands in your life. Just recently, I had the opportunity to take a class with Dr. Carolyn Young entitled Becoming Supernatural. Her class is based on a book written by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if a lot of you people have heard of him, but he's one of those new pioneers that's taking up the mantle of the Ernest Holmes and that. Now he has his own touch on it. He's put his own little, as the kids say, his own little flavor, his own little salt and pepper to it to add his own thing. But as you begin to see, as I begin to share a story, you'll begin to see that spirit is here with Joe Dispenza. So I really enjoyed the class, but really what amazed me was the divine truth of the invisible divine energy that surrounds all of us. I won't go into detail, but I will highlight something that really stood out for me as a religious scientist as to how our thoughts change our worlds. The book had quite a few case studies where individuals changed their outcomes based on their thoughts. The one case that stood out for me was about a young man by the name of Jerry, who was on the brink of death. He said at one point he couldn't breathe, so they put an oxygen mask on him. He had IVs in both arms, but he kept thinking to himself, now this is where spirit comes in. He kept thinking to himself, watch your thoughts, relax. Put something into quantum field that's going to help you and not hurt you. This too shall pass, he says. I'm going to be alert, he said. So whenever he was conscious, he placed his energy on overcoming himself and creating a different outcome, because the doctors had pretty much told him he's going to die. It was over. Well, the days before his surgery, his doctors took an x-ray, and the mass that was there before was no longer there. He didn't have to have surgery at all. Jerry said to himself that he wasn't going to allow himself to think, woe is me. This is going to be bad. So he kept on working on the outcome of what he wanted. He kept on thinking about what he knew, and he had learned it at Joe Dispenza's meditation classes. That's where he learned it from. Again, divine spirit is going to get his message out. Whoever the message is doesn't really matter. But earlier this week, I saw several situations where a person's thought, even an animal's thought, I don't know if the animal could fight. I think the jockey had something to do with the horse that runs the Kentucky Derby. If you get a chance, check it out. But earlier this week, I saw a relay race with a 7-year-old girl who did not accept the outcome that she would lose her race because her shoe came off. And I'm going to share that video with you now. So let me see, let me get myself set up here. All right, let me see.
Time ago that you have to do something.
All right. Dang, I want to knock that.
She ran out her shoe. Go, Talaya. Go, Lay. Go, Lay. Let's go, Lay. Good job, Lay. Let's go, 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 Talaya. Come on, mama. Let's go, Talaya. Let's go, Talaya. Let's go, Talaya. Let's go, Talaya.
She ran out her shoe and had it.
Let's go.
She lost her shoe and had. She lost her shoe and had.
Okay, I'm getting myself organized here. But can you hear me? Okay. This little girl ran a different race. Now once her shoe came off, she could have thought, I'm never going to catch up. I might as well quit because I can't catch up to any of the other girls. No, all that Talaya had was her thought that she wasn't going to give up. She even focused on, I'm going to win this race. She didn't look back. She kept her focus on the finish line. And her determination took her to first place, and she won the race. So a lot of times, we get caught up in different kinds of races. When our shoe comes off, quote unquote, not realizing that if we don't take care and take our focus off of something going wrong, or we might not win our race, whatever form that race might be presenting itself to us. It might be a health-related race like Jerry's. It might be a race with our finances. So, or with some other race that has presented itself to you. So just think of Talaya and Jerry and keep your thoughts on the outcome that you prefer to have and experience. I love you all. I bless you all. And I hope you enjoyed the talk. Okay.